No public for public comment unless you got any hiding out there.
Nope, I don't have anything. Let me just double check one last time. The recording is on too, so we have that going. But nope, that's it. Just
Okay.
us.
Well, let's just get right into new business and have some conversations about goals for 2021. And how would you like to go about goals? You all just want to start popping out ideas, or do we want to start off with a few?
Signage. So it doesn't seem like the Sheros with the bikes may use full lane is very popular with our town painters. Am I right?
What?
Are you saying time?
As far as putting them, they're kind of spread out. So it was, well, my idea is, and I see these in a lot of towns, because that also educates, as well as I think so many people have no idea that a cyclist gets 3 feet. Just something to think about as we think about what's easy and cheaper to put out there, and something that will educate as well as keep cyclists safe. I just happen to notice, I've been in a lot of towns lately, and West Hartford, New Britain, they seem to be pretty popular.
So we're seeing more of the 3 feet to pass signs out there?
Yeah, even though, actually I'm seeing a lot of, like Hartford is starting to put Sheros, West Hartford. So seeing a little bit of both. But I think to have these maybe sprinkled in here and there, like I keep using the word, will educate people, because so many people say to me, I didn't know we were supposed to give 3 feet.
Mhm.
It's just a reminder, perhaps.
I think I meet all those people who don't know the law while I'm riding.
I think I meet them too. A few of them I catch up with and educate, but
wow. Careful how you educate.
I did that this week too. I educated a woman at a stoplight, and she said she had no idea.
Well,
she gave me about a foot and a half.
Okay, you've got the great educating voice there, Neil. I've heard that on the bike trail before. Yeah.
I did yell out 3 feet as she passed me, and then at the red light, she rolled down her window and she asked what I said, and I explained it to her, and she apologized profusely. She said she had no idea.
Nice.
Okay, so
that's one.
Idea.
So instead of signs, we just need Neil to ride around town a lot more.
I'm not putting a pool noodle on my bike.
Oh God.
I saw that again this weekend.
You did?
I did. I've seen it a couple of times.
Well, what he doesn't realize is you would really have to give 3 feet from the end of that noodle.
True.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
So one thing we did a couple years ago, the chief sets, and I didn't participate, but I understand that he set signage, temporary signage, and some officers on Meadow Road to demonstrate 3 feet throughout the day. So kind of created a public, display of what 3 feet means. Might be worth putting on the agenda for next, maybe next May, Bike Safety Month.
How did they do that? How did they do that, Neil? They were actually.
I don't know, but Chief Mellinson was the one who set it up.
He was. Okay, I'll talk to Chief.
3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I think they
just
had
did a video on the town page, just a 30-second public service clip from the chief showing that, and put that on the page, and then it's out there all the time.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Good
idea.
point.
That's good.
Good point.
Okay.
So it seems like one of the things we're working on is education, and we could just kind of lump this into an education type item then. All right.
Yep.
Does that sound right? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And with that, we can do, like I said, maybe I'll talk to the chief, do something like that. We can put more postings in the newsletter. We could write, and we could kind of come up with other things on the website, and that way it'll kind of educate people, and we could go over 3 feet to pass. We could do over, we could do the trail safety too, passing on the left, on the right, make a bell or whatever like that kind of stuff, do simple things like that.
Yep.
How to push
And
a button on the crosswalk.
That'd be good.
So,
Bruce, you mentioned the newsletter. We should
Yep.
start thinking about what we'd like to put in the newsletter, because certainly in the spring and summer newsletter, I think we should get things in there.
yes, definitely.
The winter, I don't know whether we've got much value in doing the winter one, because you don't have as many people riding the bikes. Usually the ones who are, I think, in the winter probably aren't the ones we need to educate. So if we got the spring and summer newsletters and we get something good put in there, an educational piece would be nice.
All right. Yeah, I had notes already, I think, for January to start putting stuff together. If anybody comes across anything and has something they've seen that is really great, it's funny, things like, because I think those are the things that get people to kind of understand it. So, we can just forward them over to me, and I can put that on the list, and we can draw something up for the newsletter. Because I like to do something more than just words. I like to do like a little sketch or something like that, something like that. So it really pops on the newsletter page.
I've got access to the whole League of American Bicyclists website stuff that that you get with becoming a whatever I am. But I have access to all that, so I can go through it.
Yeah, just go through and pop a few things out and send them on over to me. All right.
Okay.
Hey, can I say something?
Yep. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, just one thing I've noticed, like in West Hartford, because I commute through there every day. But of course, they have quite a few bike lanes and share roads painted on their roads. But it almost seems to me that it's built into their city plan. Whenever they pave a road, it's part of the painting. And an example is they just paved Park Road. It goes up the hill after you come through the main intersection where the highway exits to Trout Brook. They just paved that, and part of the painting of the lines was painting in a bike lane. And it just appeared to me, and I don't know if that's the case, but that's just anytime they do paving and painting, they include that as part of it. Something for bike safety. Just an observation on West Hartford.
DJ, is
Yeah.
that something we can have as part of our town, I don't know what the rule is for that, but just like zoning is, here's the suggestions and here's what you do. And as a rule, the
I
town
mean, we
does
could,
that.
I guess it would, and Bruce, you can correct me, it would probably go through planning and zoning to set a reg. I don't know whether the council would set something like that or planning and zoning, but let me look into it and find out what, if we can find out what West Hartford's policy is. We wouldn't obviously do that on every road. The cul-de-sacs don't need it so much, but on the roads that we've already targeted, maybe when those are repaved, we know what the schedule is. We've got a 10-year paving schedule. So
Right.
we can figure out what roads are ahead and try and lobby for that. So that's a good idea.
The only
Right.
problem, Farmington, obviously, a lot of our highly traveled roads are much narrower
Yeah.
than I know exactly which roads you're talking about, Rich. And then the problem becomes the state roads we cannot do, correct? Or
Yes.
can that be
Now,
negotiated somehow?
So
No,
that's my 2021 goal, is to get a master plan of what we want to do with our state roads.
Such
we've
as
been,
Route 4.
we've been meeting for years, and we keep saying, well, we can't touch state roads, and I refuse to give up on that. you know, and even if it takes 10 years to get something done, man, if we started 10 years ago, we would have had it done today.
That's true. Andrews, you know, it would probably be a good direction to go with that. Let's see if they have any committees at the state level that we can reach out, and maybe we can go to one of the state house meetings and, you know, plead our case and get the other bicycle friendly towns involved. And maybe we can actually get on their agenda, because that's one of those things that shouldn't cost them a lot to do, but they get some good press for. So maybe we could get them to buy in.
Yeah, I know there's CT Bike Walk. You know, I don't know if they are like the overarching, and there's also, I think, the capital region, like Krog does stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mark Moriarty from New Britain, he's their Department of Public Works guy, and he's advanced bike friendly in New Britain a ton. And I could reach out to him to see if he's got ideas.
Tony Churlios is a good guy too,
Okay, I've seen his
from
name.
Hartford. And the guys in West
All right, so-
Hartford are doing a great job too with the same,
On Route 4 and
well, just all of West Hartford, as Rich just said, they're every road, it seems, becomes bike safe somehow.
Yep.
Signage or
you know, and we don't have great east-west. And for those that aren't afraid of riding on the road, Route 4 is busy for bikes. You know, it's popular to get up from Unionville up to Collinsville if you don't want to take the bike path. And, you know, I'd argue at 20 miles an hour, you know, you shouldn't have a pace line on the bike path. You know, it's probably safer on the shoulder.
Yep,
Mhm.
I'd agree. Andrews, do you want to try and put together a list of people we can try and reach out to the state or organizations? And then for our next meeting, let's see
Okay.
if we can, that'd be great. Then we can try and move forward on that.
Yep.
I know Tony Tirola's pretty good. I used to actually rent a room from him. So I could
Okay.
not reach out to him.
Sure.
Great.
Mhm.
Any help is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I could just start, you know, by email and have you guys CC'd on there too, and same with Rich
Okay.
Perfect.
and Ron, if you know folks. Is Matt Bloom doing anything related to this kind of stuff?
No, he's
Okay.
doing traffic. He's in the traffic signal division.
Okay.
So, but I
So he's the
usually,
one
I
who
usually
sends
bend
us
his.
faulty signals?
Huh?
He's the one who sends us faulty signals?
Exactly. So I usually bounce things off him sometimes to see if I can
Yeah.
get through. So
Okay. You know, some of the other things we can, we'll talk about a little bit later in our old business, but I think the goals, when we get into the trail signs, I think we put that on, you know, making sure we get that done. I think that's one that's very doable. And the porta potties along the trail, try and do that. And I know we've talked at different points about getting a water fountain near the trail. So I think those are three we can put on that are very doable for goals for next year.
Cool.
I think we need to look at fencing too.
oh, that's right, Neil. You
Repairing,
said fencing.
replacing, and actually removing. I think we have way too much, and it breaks. You know, trees come down, it breaks, and it looks bad. So I think we
Yeah,
should
that-
focus on that.
The fencing is a tough one in terms of both the three rail and in terms of the stockade. Because I know when we were designing it and we were putting it in, insurance people get involved, and that was the problem. You know, is a lot of people. Well, what if this? What if that? So they said, just put the fence in, just get it done, and get it in. So I think we're pretty good. The only thing I think we have to start looking back at is the River Road piece, right? The trail out towards Collinsville. You know, that's one of the older sections. I've seen some fence sections that are in some bad states there.
Yeah.
But are there some other areas?
That's where I've noticed them mostly. I haven't gone north-south a lot, so I haven't really
Okay.
looked at, up towards Brickyard.
Okay, we'll look into what what the schedule is, because I think we usually put together a schedule of which fencing areas we're going to focus on. So, but to your point, it would be interesting, Bruce, if that's the case, where you don't necessarily need fencing, do you need it on the flat grades?
Yeah.
There's plenty of places where you've got a steep drop off where clearly you need the fencing, but is it just creating extra work to do that? And if we don't have to do it, why put it there?
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. You want to talk about the push button, Bruce?
Yes, push button. I was talking to Russ, and we had, as you guys know, right after we talked about it, it went out again, and it was flashing for a few days. Turned it off. It went flashing again. So pretty much, Russ had called the guy and said, "Look, if you don't fix this thing, we're going to be putting your home phone number up on the post and the push button." So they understood. They went out there and they made some more repairs. I don't know what they did. They wouldn't tell us. They were saying there was possibly a short in there somewhere. So I'm not sure if they replaced all the guts or what, but it seems to be working fine. So we'll play it by ear.
Yeah. So for the moment, we're good. All we need to do is get people to push the button.
Push the button.
Okay. Okay, next is getting new committee members. I was talking to Bruce about this a little earlier. If we, and maybe this is something we can put in the December newsletter, just reaching out to see if we can get different people involved in our committee here. We've brought in people, we've kept at a pretty steady number here, but if we post something in a public forum, let's see what kind of response we have. I think Bruce has a copy of the original application when we first went through to create this committee. So we can work off that list if we start getting some responses. But, I think we can decide if there's a certain way we want to word it or what we want to put in there. But I think it'd be nice to kind of reach out. Any thoughts on that?
I like it.
We could do an
Nice if we,
application. Go ahead, Ron. Sorry.
No, it'd just be nice. I mean, we have all guys here. It'd be nice if, we did have a couple of women who would like to come on, because then you get a whole different aspect, a whole different look at things too.
Yep.
Especially being much smarter than guys.
So if everyone's on the same page, I'll take that application that we did. I'll modify it. I'll post something on the newsletter or via Everbridge, whatever the fastest way is. And then we can go over the applications at a meeting, and then bring, if we get a lot of people, we can bring them in and like interview them, if you want, if we, and then we just pick, we're thinking like 1 to 2 people. So.
Maybe the overflow will come on to Bike Friendly Farmington.
There you go.
There you go.
Redirect them right there. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Okay, good. The spring 2019 report card. What is the next option or opportunity when we would consider putting in? We had talked about that at one point, looking over the 2019, and there were a lot of items on there that, frankly, if we worded them differently, it comes across better and there's a better chance of moving up. It's not that we haven't done things. I think it was just how we described them.
Yeah, it's a 4-year application. So I think, like I said, maybe it's over, and we got it in 2019. It's over in 2023. So maybe we can look at doing something for next year on that, putting something together. I have to talk with them again and see where they feel we can make the changes, and see if there is a possibility of getting this thing modified.
Yeah, so I mean, the lowest scores, I'm looking at it now. I mean, the lowest scores we got 4 out of 10 for education and 4 out of 10 for evaluation and planning, setting goals and having a plan. So that's what we're doing now. And then next to that is engineering, bicycle network, and connectivity. So that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at, but they're all you know, the education is more short term, and then the planning and engineering is long term.
Mhm.
You know, and you know, they have our key steps to silver. You know, I don't think there's anything we can do about separating high speed traffic on Route 4.
No.
You know, but it says our application indicate a lack of bicycle facilities on high speed roads. You know, even if we get, you know, Sharrows and share the road signs on Route 4, you know, without restriping, without, you know, that would at least be a check in the box for a high speed road. You know, even just, you know, I'd be thrilled to have a 3 feet to pass sign right by Hillstead. You know, because that's, you know, at least now there's 2 lanes. A lot of times cars will move over, but that'd be nice to have.
Say
Yeah.
that again. I missed where you said.
By the corner by Hillstead, before Hillstead, when you're going eastbound on Route 4. You know, just the 3 feet to pass sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Andrews, because I've come up that road, and once you clear that bend, if there happens to be a bicycle too close to you, that can be a really dangerous spot.
Yeah.
So that would actually be a very good spot to have that sign. I've seen a few bikes almost taken out by the cars in front of me. You know, I think about it when I'm coming up there, just because, you know, I've ridden on there, but
Sure.
most people don't.
Maybe
Hugging
the-
the curb.
Yeah, maybe the state owns the road itself, but if we technically own the median, you know, what's to prevent us from putting a sign up, you know?
So another place that's not a great place to ride, but sometimes it's the easiest, is coming around the bend at Rattlesnake Mountain, I guess. There's that blind spot as you turn, as you're coming up 6 to go up the hill
Yeah.
toward like 5 Corners. There's a blind spot there too, where 3 feet pass might be a good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even Route 6 scares me a bit on the bike, but
Without a doubt.
yeah.
I think we gotta, you know, we gotta make sure that whatever we pick, these areas that we can prove that there's a large ridership, you know what I mean? So if there,
So I mean, Strava opened up their data set to towns for free, I believe, now. You know, and so you could get the heat map for the town and see the ridership on those roads and say that, hey, you know, it's Route 4's had like this many thousands of bicycles go by in 2019. And, you know, I think that's a pretty good evidence right there. And especially when we need to present it to either the state or to even our town police department, you know, it shows that the volume's there, that even though it might not be the best place where you're going to teach a kid how to ride a bike, it's getting used by experienced bicyclists for commuting. You know,
how does that data report? Is it just, does it give a percentage? Does it give a number?
I
Does it
haven't
give
seen it.
something?
I haven't
Okay.
downloaded it. I don't know if I could, not being a town employee, but I could try to find a link for you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You guys seem to be the experts at that, so.
You know what
anything
that might
would be
also
awesome.
address, Andres? I think one of the, as I recall in our application, percentage of residents who commute or ride.
Yeah.
And that was a low number for us. And I think in most towns, they just pick a number out of a hat. Strava would show how many people are riding or commuting through town.
Yeah,
So we could
that's a
get,
good point.
yeah, a little more realistic number there. Cause I just remember the number we put on there was based on, was it the Survey Monkey or something we put out there? It was just a
Okay.
really low number.
Yeah.
It didn't even include, you know, kids, the bike to school number. We had more kids biking to school, I think, than we claimed as people who ride and commute. So just something, the Strava could be very helpful in that all.
Yeah, average score of ridership was 2.7 and Farmington was 0.1 for commuters who bike.
Yeah. So, and we cover that in this group right here for the, you know.
Well,
you know,
this
you
year,
got-
this year it's closer to 100% since we're all working at home.
Okay. Well, that's good. I think so. We'll work on that. We'll see what the story is for next year and just try and see where we can add to our numbers. That's good. Old business. This is over to Ron's favorite topic, educating pedestrians to utilize crosswalks, particularly on 177 trail crossing. Short of somebody getting out there and writing in chalk on the trail every day, hit the button. I don't know what you do to get people to pay attention.
I don't either, because they even try to put signage. The Boy Scouts tried to do it in Collinsville, and people just ignore it routinely.
Well, a lot of it is, I think, people's nature. Like I said, you'll see. I just saw some guy. I was parked at a traffic signal, and the guy was trying to get through. Instead of using the crosswalk, he's running across the road like 50 feet before the crosswalk. It's just people's nature. I think they're afraid to hit it and stop traffic. They feel like that they can make it without it. But I think we'll make that part of our education, part of our goal. And I think we'll just keep pushing that as much as we can. We talked about having the police put up their variable message sign in the spring in that area, and we could do something like that, So
How about, how do we go about having the police actually there? You see them in the center of Farmington, but in a very busy area like that in July, I never see a patrol car there.
what do you want them there, just reminding
Just
the
like they're
users to
sitting
push
at
the
the
button?
fire station,
Yep.
watching cars go by and
Mhm.
whatever they do, just having them there. Yeah.
All right, well, when I talk to them about the variable message sign, we'll see if we can do something with that, We'll see if they're willing to
Okay.
sit there and just do a reminder. I don't think they want to hand out tickets, they definitely don't want to do that. But then maybe they could just be there and remind the father or the mother who's got 4 kids and they're trying to cross without hitting the button,
Oh, well, I'm talking about the cars that are crossing the crosswalk.
Oh, stopping. Oh, the stopping part. Yeah.
Trying not to
Oh,
hit
that's, yes. Okay.
So
Well, let me
yeah,
say-
to me, the education is actually two-pronged, right? One is to educate the pedestrians. And I'll be the first to admit that I very rarely hit the button to engage the lights, because to me, the light doesn't mean anything. It doesn't force that car to stop, okay? The fact that I'm in the crosswalk, the law is that car should stop. So the light just alerts somebody that I'm there, but it really doesn't change anything. And that's why I think we have to educate drivers as well, that as you approach those crosswalks, whether that light is flashing or not, it's your responsibility to slow down and look and stop if there's somebody there. And I think that could go out in our newsletter, that could go out in the town newsletter as well.
Good.
Here, here.
How far away do we have signs alerting people of the flashing signs?
I want to say it's at the crosswalk, and then there's another one about 100 feet, I think, up the road, because that's because that's in a tight area, and then the other one isn't more than 50 feet, 75 feet, or something like that.
Okay. At least there's a sign. They can't really say, I didn't know there was a flashing light. If there's a sign telling you the flashing light, there's one at the flashing light, and there's the flashing light. But clearly it doesn't mean they're going to stop.
And having all those problems with it doesn't help either, because people drive by there. I saw the light there flashing last night, all day yesterday, so I'm not going to stop. But something's wrong with it. So hopefully once that is resolved, we don't have the problem as much. So.
Okay. Any other thoughts on the flashers? Okay, the other one is the Wayfinder signs. I guess there are 2 pieces to this. The AARP grant, they've gotten a grant that they're going to work on the little park down there at the intersection. Bruce, what are they putting in, a bench, and what else are they going to put down there?
They're looking at a couple benches, and I think in a couple of 1 or 2 bike racks. Remember we had talked about that a while ago. That way they can park and go to not the tavern.
Oh, Tap Rock.
Yeah,
Tap Rock. Yeah.
Tap Rock or something like that. So,
Okay.
so they're hoping to get those. The grant wasn't for much. It wasn't as much as they thought it was going to be. So they felt that's a good start. We'll get that. Then we could do something. And then I know that we've been talking for a while, but I can do something. We can put something together for some signs for up at the depot crossing there, you know, some arrows for some services or something like that.
That would be nice to kind of get that all set so we can get that in by spring. The Roses pointed out that our Chamber of Commerce, which has now merged with, I think it's the Farmington Valley Chamber of Commerce, but they still have cash that is dedicated for Farmington that they had not spent before they merged. So Rose was hopeful that we could get them to use that money, which is sort of the same money they promised to us. How many years ago, Ron, when we presented to the Chamber of Commerce? It's been a while. So maybe we could get that money to pay for whatever signage we come up with. So that would be good.
Are we ready to go with the signs and say, hey, this is the layout, here's the color, here's the sign, here's the font? Or do we, because I'm thinking if we have like a receipt or a quote from the sign shop and then we present that to the chamber and said, okay, here we go, we're waiting for your money, then it would come.
Yeah, I mean, we always talked about it. I don't think we ever came up. We were trying to, CJ and I were talking about possibly using something that resembles the depot building there, the signage that the school used, something that like that. I think it was like a beige with a black letter, something like that, you know?
Is there, I know the Farmington Valley Greenway has their annual meeting tomorrow on Zoom, but if they've got a standard they've used in the other towns, you know, we should be able to just piggyback on that. Somebody could send like an Illustrator file and say, here you go.
Did. I think there wasn't a standard. I mean, they're trying to make a standard, but I think a few towns have different things, but it's something to discuss with them again, you know?
Yeah. Because and remember what we're talking about now is not the businesses up there at this point, but just, you know, here's where a bathroom is, here's food in this direction, that type of thing. And hopefully progressing that to doing signs for businesses and things like that. One of Rose's points was trying to ask people for money for excess advertising while they're still suffering through COVID is a little tough, which is a good point. But, you know, if we get them up, and I think whatever signs we choose, make sure they've got enough flexibility that we can add that later.
Okay.
So, portable restrooms for next year. We talked a little bit about different locations and what would make sense for us. You know, certain spurs are close to where the restrooms are just across the border. What are your thoughts? Anybody who's got ideas on where would be our best spots if we had, you know, let's say we could pick 2 spots to have porta potties on the trail.
We had talked last month about, I think the 3 spots were Brickyard Road at that parking lot, doing 1 or 2 at Collinsville because of the amount, just the sheer amount of people, and the other one putting it down at like Coppermine Road parking lot.
Yeah,
those are the 3 kind of the areas I thought that we had talked about as being potential places.
Okay. All right, and we'll find out what the cost is involved. Hey, Ron, do you remember at one point I thought it was you that were saying some people had the porta potties sponsored by companies?
Oh, I've seen that in.
This is Ron Shitter.
Could be. It was one of those like out toward Haddam, or what is that really cool trail that goes over the railroad trestle, kind of?
The airline trail?
Yes, one of those towns. It said sponsored by whatever. It was right on the porta potty. Your shit.
You're gonna make that presentation.
Sponsored by the Farmington Town Chamber.
We're being recorded, so let's be careful where we go with this one.
Oh,
we'll just put some signs on the side of it, advertising.
All right.
Okay, we'll look into that and see. We've got to figure out what the pricing is on it all too, and then see what we can work out. So good. Complete
Does that go
streets.
together with the water fountains?
What's that?
Right now, the water fountains, we're looking at Copper Mine.
Okay.
I think that's the one spot I'm looking at right now. Is that right, Bruce?
No, it was Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Oak Ridge has a water service, that we were able to pull off the road for
Okay.
that location. So maybe a good point, maybe putting a wayfinder sign up at the crossing at Oak Ridge, say water fountain or something like that, you know? So people
Yeah.
can always
Is
go down that way.
Brickyard helpful for that too, or?
Water, it's where we have water and where they were allowed to put a water service in by the Connecticut water company is what's holding it. So I think we were able to get one in here. So we said, let's see how it works out for us.
Okay.
I know the Trails Association put a bunch of those repair stations in, and they've been having a lot of problems with them being ripped apart and damaged and stuff. So it's unfortunate, you do something like that and they have to vandalize it. So let's see how it works out.
Yeah. If you're putting water off of Oak Ridge, it wouldn't be bad if you slipped and smoothed out the cliff there on the west side.
Do you know the heartache I have every time I talk to Scott on that? So as you know, they
Got to
pushed
ride
that.
through it sometime or take a
Huh?
skateboard.
Oh, I was out there the other day. I took a picture. So they're not paving. The paving got kicked off till next year. So I made it my point. I said that thing will be fixed. I said you cannot leave that like that. So
Yeah.
We're gonna need a picture of Neil to put right there. This
Neil's curb cut.
When they put one of you at the crosswalk at 177.
Maybe you could just mill it down, mill that edge down, put a bevel on.
Yeah, we talked about that. It's kind of getting broken up. You know what it looks like? It looks like the plow during the winter came around and scraped that up, almost, because you could almost see where it took the curve. So it almost looks like that's kind of what happened. So as the pavement gets older, it's harder to mill. So we'll see what we can do. I'm not sure what we can do temporarily, but I got to talk to them and find out when they're doing the paving. But if it's first thing in the spring, that'd be a great time to get that done. So.
Okay. How about complete streets? Anything on that, Bruce?
No, I have the policy. I still owe you guys. It's pretty much done. I just have to get it over to you. Just been on my list of things to do. My list keeps getting longer and longer. So I'll get that over to you guys and get that off my desk onto your desk. You guys can go through it. All right.
Good. Plainville bicycle study. Anything there?
Oh, did we skip over the school curriculum?
Oh, yes, we did. How did I do that? Go ahead, Ron. Sorry. Go back to school curriculum.
Yeah, no. Where are we as far as putting it in the classroom, or where we are with everything else, right? With the gym.
Well, last month we had talked about putting this on hold just due to COVID, because the schools are pretty stressed out as it is with their education. Trying to sit down with them, trying to negotiate a new program may be difficult at this point. You know what I mean? I mean, if you can get them to at least talk about it, that's one thing, but I don't think you'll get any action on it until this all goes away,
Yeah, I've been in contact as far as the bike to school day goes, and maybe a year from now we'll be able to do that.
Mhm.
I was talking to Kyle over at Union, the gym teacher, Kyle Shades. So, but that's beside the actual curriculum.
Ron, one opportunity we've got is I'm working with Winding Trails on improving mountain biking there, and we're actually getting some really cool things happening there. I didn't realize that they actually have a bike camp and a program, and apparently they have their own bikes. So we might be able to team up with Winding Trails. If if they have that, we might be able to borrow that for the town. If we did a official program 1 week with the school gyms for fourth grade or something like that.
Do you know how big their fleet?
I don't know anything other than I heard about it. I've got a meeting with Winding Trails tomorrow.
Okay.
So I could ask.
All right,
That'd be
cool.
great if there was a great connection we could make there. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, they're Scott Brown's pretty excited to get the biking at Winding Trails even better than it is.
Good. All right, so we'll kind of pick up bike safety, I guess, come springtime. We'll see what schools are looking like. Hopefully they're back in full time and we can talk to them about next year's curriculum.
Yeah. And we'll have to see how we can word that on our application for bike friendly, because it's not our fault that we can't do anything
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and also if there's, if Winding Trails does a bike training and they've got the camp, that's bicycle education in the town.
Mark it up.
Yeah.
Put it
It
in.
doesn't say it's got to be in the school system.
Mhm.
So.
Yep.
That's good.
All right.
Okay, now back down to Plainville Bicycle Study. What were we doing on that?
The archaeologist was out there, I
I
heard.
saw that.
I missed that, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What have they found?
I don't know. But I really don't know anything about what's going on. I'm just going by what I'm reading off of Facebook, off of the probably the same thing you're reading.
Yeah.
And yeah. Slow, but continuous progress.
Yeah.
So
think slow
maybe by the
either.
time we're in our 70s, it'll be ready.
It'll be done before we get progress on Route 4. That could be my pet project. We all have one.
Yep.
I don't know if that was considered with part of that 12-story building they're building off of Northwest Drive, but with all the clear cutting there, it seems to me like they should have at least talked about that, putting a trail through there and connecting it somehow. That would have gotten you part of the way into the town anyways.
Yeah.
True.
So I don't know if that was talked about or not, but
All right.
All right, how about connectivity to the trail? I mean, that's just sort of our ongoing conversation of how we get people close to the trail. Andrews, you said it earlier, it's that east-west is always our challenge in town. The one thing that the conversations are being had now is connecting to the trail right near Farmington Avenue. And there's, I guess, those conversations are starting now with the development in the whole warehouse by Midas. So if that moves forward, Bruce, what was that? Just an early conversation they had at TP&Z?
No, I'll show you if you guys can bear with me 1 second. Rich, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. All right. This has to go with what you were saying. See if you guys can bear with me.
Yeah, Rich, I'm
You see
looking
my
at
screen?
pictures from Hartford too.
Huh?
Not yet.
Can you
Do
see
not
my
see-
screen or no?
Nope.
No,
No?
we're still looking at each other.
Oh, wait. I thought I had screen sharing on. Let me see here. Hold on. Oh, share content is on. Share. Oh. Whiteboard, share photos. I don't know. Share screen. I don't have a share screen option. I'm on my I'm on the iPad, and I know when you do it on the desktop version, it pops up and share content should be able to Dropbox, Google Drive, Box. Sorry, but yeah, I've got the plan in here. But what it is they actually made a submission for a zone change. So what they're looking to do is change that piece of property where if everyone doesn't know where it is, it's over where the hot dog cart is over by the Big Bird Bridge. So that lot all the way over to behind the Galleria Hair Salon. They're all looking to do a zone change there. All right, and as part of the project, he's got a lot of residential proposed for there, as well as some redevelopment of the existing older warehouse building. And as part of that, we had talked in the past, is what they're looking to do is they're looking to drop the trail in between the Big Bird Bridge and the Farmington River. So they'll actually drop that down. It'll be a 5% grade coming off of both sides into like a low point here. If I can
Yep.
kind of show you like a belly, and in there there'll be a little offshoot, one way to go west to go to the fields on Amawassa, and the other way to go east. And they're, as part of their proposal, they build a trail that runs pretty close to along the river. They come along the river, and right now it's just going to shoot back up to by the Galleria, where it'll tie into a sidewalk, a future sidewalk that'll connect to the sidewalk slash 10-foot trail in front of Anthology. So
With that-
that's the immediate connection. Future would be if they ever do anything with the plant 17, the old White Oak property down by the river. The trail could actually continue through there.
That would be
And
awesome. Yeah.
all of them intent is to bring it back up by the treatment plant and get over onto the bridge and cross over the Farmington
Wow.
River there. So
Cool.
There's some great plans. I mean, the concept is great, and being able to get onto the trail in that spot, which has always been a nightmare. You know, you get the people hiking up by the gas station there to get on the trail currently. So it'd be nice to have a real access.
cross country, the cross country team uses that. I think crew actually uses that to access Tungus Mead to get down to the boats. The boat docks and stuff. So it does get used quite a bit. And as you said, it would be nice to have a nice access point.
Yeah. So
So
Okay.
speaking of Tungus Mead, I mean, we've got the downhill path to Tungus Mead on the other side of the river.
Mhm.
That the way the trail follows the fall line, which water does too, which erodes it. Would we be able to do a reroute of that, kind of more into the woods, more gradual with a couple of turns and stuff like that? And then that way it's sustainable. And then you don't have to worry about maintenance in the gully. And I know it's probably not an official trail, but
Yeah.
then we could have a fun little mountain bikey trail that goes into the rest of the mountain bike trails.
I'd have to take a peek. I haven't been there in a while. I thought it was pretty steep off the edge. No? I thought that was like kind of the easiest way to get up the hill was that little straight run right there.
And Tungus Mead?
Yeah.
Okay.
You talking about the access point as soon as you come over the river?
Yeah.
That point. You're talking about going right down and that steep slope being the hard part you're talking about, right?
Yeah, kind of right now it runs almost parallel to the trail that takes you down to the
Mhm.
river, follows
Yep.
the fall line, and the water has eroded most of it. So, you got this big gully in the middle, and then you could pick either side. And if that got kind of blocked off, and then you just kind of ran the trail, into the woods, and then with a couple of turns, then
Let
you
me take
could
a
have-
peek.
Yeah.
And I know we have it. I have it on my list in January too to contact Carly about a sign.
Yeah.
Because I think you asked about a sign, so
Yep.
we'll do something there, and maybe that'll be a great spring project just to run a grader through there, or just to do some little back bladings, but with a skid
Yeah.
steer or something like that, and clean it up. So
Yeah, what
Okay.
we have to do though to keep the water from there's some good books out there on trail building
Mhm.
and how to make it sustainable. Basically you've got to give a place for the water to go afterwards, whether you rise it back up and so the water spills off the side before you go back down again, or put a turn or something like that. But we could probably get the Nemba mountain bike
Okay.
guys that are the pro trail builders to help out with like a trail day one day or something if we wanted to.
all right.
cool.
Hey, this is Rich here. I had sent an email for everybody with a couple of pictures on it.
Come to that. Yes.
And my thought was, the picture I sent was the trail in Great River Park in East Hartford, where it goes down to the water level at one elevation, and then it goes up to the top of the berm at another elevation. They have a long, gentle slope, which is to get from one level to the other. So my thought was, I know this is it's in the vicinity, but it's on the opposite side of the road from the factory. That Google map that I marked up between the bike trail in that pond that's right across from the factory, I believe there used to be a service road for the railroad or something. But it's already there. I mean, it's all overgrown with trees now, but when I lived in the Highlands, it used to be a walkable path. It's already there. I think the phone line goes under there, underground phone
Yeah,
cable.
no, yeah, we had put that in when we built that trail back in the early 90s. We had actually stone dust that, but I think it probably, like you said, it overgrew with all that stuff, you know? I think
Yeah,
it's
but my thought
safer.
was, right. My thought was it's something that's already there as far as like the structure of it. So if we're looking, to do a big capital improvement and do it in the most cost efficient way, there's a structure already there. You'd have to cross the road to the existing bike trail that's on the side of Route 4, the south side of Route 4. And I believe the plan is to extend that to the factory at some point. But it was just an idea I had, so just throwing it out there.
No,
As
if
an
that,
option.
if the development gets approved on the factory, they'll take care of all that stuff at their cost. It won't be any cost to us.
Okay.
They'll do
All right.
all that because that's all part of that, because they want to, because they're going to be potential residential apartments. They want to sell the use of having access to the river, having access to the bike trail.
Gotcha.
So it's a very well community, and it just so happens it falls into one of our needs as well. It's a great community interconnector. So if that goes through, I think you're looking at a big improvement in that area for, like I said, at no cost to us. So
All right.
the only thing that
Wasn't
we'll have to
aware of
worry about,
all that.
yeah, the only thing that we'll have to worry about is we'll have to work on a bike trail from the low point to the ball field. But if they build that low point, we'll take care of that soon
Mhm.
after. So,
Gotcha. All right.
all right.
Good. Chris. Okay,
If you-
anything else?
if
from
you
old
guys
business?
The only
Go
other
ahead.
thing I have is the meeting schedule for next year. So we usually meet February, every other month. So February, March, May, July, September, and November. We were kind of off with the whole COVID stuff this year, but if you want, we can stick to that schedule and I'll send that
January,
out
March?
the next minutes.
So January, March, that way? The odd months?
Well, or we can just do February. Yeah, we skipped January last time because of I think it's because of the new year. I'm not sure why, but we did February, March, then May, July, September, and November. So it's up to you guys. How you guys want me to proceed with that?
Anything.
It would be nice getting in April with May being
Okay,
National Bike
Yeah.
Month.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to do February, March, April, May?
Of course, as I'm saying that, April is when we're going through the budget too, so it'd be a little hard for me to find days in that I said that. But it would be nice to have something where we get together and figure out what we can do for National Bike Month in May, so.
Well, it doesn't hurt. We can leave that open if you are, leave that off, discuss it in March.
Yeah.
And if we have to make a special
Yeah,
meeting,
we
we'll
can
throw
fit in-
something together,
okay.
So
Why don't we do
you know?
January, March, April, and then April, we just leave for bike month stuff? So it's a
Yeah.
quick meeting?
Yeah, that's good.
So we'll leave, yeah, so I think Andrews, I think we're saying, well, we won't make April an official meeting now because of the budget season. So what we'll do is we'll discuss in March a good week that CJ will be able to attend with all the budget meetings, and we'll work something
Sure.
out. We'll just throw in a special.
You guys have the meeting upstairs in Town Hall, since we can meet, in person then. I'll just slip out of the budget meeting for a little while.
Come in with, two
Yeah.
big bags of money for the bike.
Yeah, that's right.
If we're doing stuff for May though, we should plan that well in advance. So February and
Yeah.
March should be sufficient.
Mhm.
Yeah, if
Okay.
we're talking about it in April, other than the last minute details, then that's
Yeah.
too late, I think.
Okay.
No, I think you're right. That's,
If you guys, if you're looking for some of your events, just if you can let me know, just give me a head chance. I can add that to the agenda for, or I'll add it to, I'll add it to my calendar so I don't forget to add it to my agenda. So, all right.
I think we should consider reaching out to the chief and seeing if they can do something on the 3 foot during National Bike Month.
Yep.
Kinda
I've got my
working on our
note.
schedule.
I got my
Yeah,
note here to
They
talk to them.
generally pull out their sign in springtime and put
Yeah.
the big one out on Route 4. So we'll make sure they do that. But if there are other spots we want to try and hit with that, like you're saying, if we do something in the meadows, that might be nice to get down there and have them do another one of those. I think what they did at that point was they had people riding up and down in the meadows, and as soon as someone passed too close to a bike, they just sent on after a call to head on the road, and the police just pulled them right over. And it wasn't a ticketable offense at that point. It was an educational offense or
Yeah.
an educational event. So they pulled them over and said, okay, let me explain what's going on here. So maybe we
Yeah.
would pick a weekend or something to do that again.
I'll volunteer to be on the bike.
Same here.
I think we got a lot of volunteers who want to be in the car, Ron.
Very
That was
nice.
good thing I'm
All
so
right.
mellow, gentle-hearted.
Just
We
as
all-
you're driving by, Bruce, Ron will be the one with the big shirt or that has the big 3 foot sign on the back. Of the just aim for him.
Just wanted Bruce, put a noodle on the side of your car that's 3 feet long.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was great.
all right.
Okay, anything else?
Any
All
more
right, well,
punching?
Okay, we'll try and get this out, the calendar and all. We'll shoot that out. If anybody has any questions on it, we'll do it by email for right now. So then follow up and see where we're going there.
Everybody
All
likes
right.
the 6:30 times, right? 6:30 works for everybody.
Pretty good. Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep it all that time then.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
guys. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Be safe
Good night.
out
Stay well, everyone.
All right.
Happy holidays.
You too.
there.
All right. Take care.